Hello, hello. I am so excited to be here. It is Tuesday and it is 11 o'clock, so I am going live. I'm hoping to not have as many distractions as I did last week. Today, we are talking about distractions and how to focus when that's what we have coming in. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, who I am, and what I do. I am Jamie Steele. I own Tidy Your Time, and I'm the admin of this group. I am all about helping you to find more time to focus on what you want to focus on, whether that's hobbies, self care, business, family. I'm here to help you focus on what you really want to focus on. I wanted to show you how to handle your day with ease, to know what's coming, and to have planned properly for it. And it doesn't take planning. A little bit of planning goes a long way. You can plan for 5 minutes and you're going to be better off with 0 minutes of planning. And then I help people with systems and processes for routine tasks. I allow you to make those checklists to really focus in on what brings you energy in the morning and gets you motivated to go throughout your day. We find a process and a system and we make checklists so you always know what comes next. I'm a lover of all things that save time. I love planning and teaching you to plan. So it is a skill that can be learned. If you've never planned, that's okay. We can work together and you can learn a system of planning that works for you. And then I really help people to look at the big picture and see how things align. So that's a little bit about me. And then what do I actually do? I help people figure out where their time is going and how to focus on the next right thing. So I teach prioritization. I teach you how to make a list that works for you and take things off that list that don't work for you. And then we also set the foundation with values and needs. That's how we know we're in alignment. We discover our values and needs, and then we can make sure our task list aligns with that, or we can see in the tasks how it handles our values and needs, and then that gives us more motivation to complete the task. So I really teach you to live in alignment so you can run your life and your business. Who do I help? I help I know it's kind of bad, quote unquote, to say you help everybody, but I help everybody who's driven to find more time in their day. Um, you can be a business owner, you could be at home with kids. That's I remember that time, and it was really hard to figure out what to do and when you're dealing with nap times and all of those fun things. So I really help everybody who wants to find more time in their day. So, what about these distractions? We all have them. I recently had puppies in the house and I feel like I got nothing done. So, if my posting doesn't seem as regular this month, we can blame the puppies that were here all through January. People asked me when I was doing the meet and greets how long the puppies had been here. And I was like, I felt like they had been here all month. But then I was like, no, they weren't here for my son's birthday. And then I found out today that they were here for my son's birthday. So I like have no concept of the month of January, which is very disorienting for me. So um, that's why we are here to learn about distractions and how to plan for them. The first thing you can do to start to limit distractions, you've got to know what they are. And our memories aren't that good. So I really suggest writing down all the distractions you encounter, and then you can make a plan for them. You you can make a plan for them, and let me give you an example. Like, my phone was a huge distraction for me, And I now work with my phone in do not disturb. My phone is pretty much in do not disturb all day, every day. And I can do that because I can allow favorites to get through. And plus, I look at my phone so much anyway, I'm not really missing the notifications. I can see them when I glance at my phone. So, one example is if your phone is a source of distraction, put it on do not disturb. You don't have to be as extreme as I am in the do not disturb. You can do it for 20 minutes while you focus in on a project. And then that way, if you need to be available for the whole world, you can look at your phone and have the notifications pop up. um so if you don't know how to add favorites on iPhone or Android, both of those have the option for favorites and settings for do not disturb so that your favorite contacts can get through. Send me a message. I'm happy to help you figure that out. It will change your life. So the other thing we can do in planning is communicate our plan to others. If we're just planning and not communicating it out, then we're not going to be able to set up those boundaries that lead to less distractions. So if you are prone to distraction and there's a lot going on in your work environment, your home environment, one thing I recommend is taking those bigger tasks and breaking them into smaller chunks so you can work on it in spurts and then you can deal with the distractions and come back and get started again after you've dealt with maybe the emails coming in or the child who's at home because of freezing weather. That's where I am today. My 16-year-old, luckily, he's still asleep, but he is home from school because we are having freezing rain and sleet, and the roads are getting kind of nasty. So that's kind of a distraction for me because his room is right next door to my office. So I don't want to wake him up, disturb him. He doesn't want to wake up and disturb me playing his bass. So we just have to make a plan for how these distractions come in. And what if you have a plan for the snow day, you are more likely to get more accomplished. So it might not be as much as you normally get accomplished, but you will get more accomplished if you have a plan in place about maybe for kids, since we're on that subject, having snacks ready for them to grab and go without needing to interrupt your work. Having activities pre-planned for them, and then scheduling time on your calendar, even though they would normally not be there, scheduling time on your calendar for them. So where you are 100% theirs, and then they don't have to get that attention while you're focusing. So another thing you can do as far as technology goes is you can turn off your phone, close social media, remove anything that might be distracting. You can really play with your notifications and turn off notifications that you really don't need. For example, do you really need to know every time you get an email? Is some people may, and that's totally valid and legitimate, but do we always need to have one of those push notifications that dings our phone to say that we got the latest sale email from Bath and Body Works? So the tracking your progress is also a good way to start to limit distractions. It's the Pomodoro technique is really good at this. This is part of the Pomodoro. We all think of Pomodoro as setting your timer for 20, 25 minutes, taking a break, doing it again, and then taking a longer break. But the actual process and system is really big on writing down your distractions, writing down what's coming in, and trying to change your prioritization for your task for the day. But you also, if you're in the middle of one of your time sessions and you get distracted, you don't get to come back and start where you left off. You actually have to restart the whole Pomodoro. It doesn't count. So that's a good way to start to gamify, in a sense, what you're doing when distractions happen. Um, Take breaks while you work. That allows you not only to deal with the distraction that may be coming in, but it allows you to reset. We can lose focus if we focus for too long. It is kind of like a muscle. So the more we try and focus, the longer we can focus. But if you're just getting started out trying to focus for more than 20 minutes at a time, make sure you're taking those breaks to recharge your brain. Um, Practice self care, eat healthy, exercise, and get enough sleep. This will help you to how you handle the distraction, because obviously distractions are always going to be coming in. You don't have to have a negative reaction to them all, though. You can through health and nutrition and all of that and self-care, you can really change your reactions to some of the distractions that come in. Um, so let me just look at my notes. We talked about the phone and putting it on do not disturb with your favorites coming through, practicing self care, make sure you're taking breaks. Um, Turning off your phone or limiting the notifications that come in. Just go to your menu and there will be somewhere in there will be of settings, there will be a notification setting, and that's where you can turn it on and off for different apps. And then you're making a plan when distractions come in. So the distraction happens, you note it, and then you make a plan to avoid it in the future, or to lessen the effect on you. So that's, if you can eliminate the distraction, then lessening how it affects your focus is a huge step. Oh, I also want to talk about, for limiting distractions, a couple of different apps that you will help you to not go to specific websites like Facebook. I know this live is a big distraction. And there are apps that will help you to stay away from social media and from just different websites that are distracting to you. And those apps are Focus Me. I believe Focus Me only works on Android. It's odd to say that because usually it's only working on Apple. But so Focus Me works on Android. It's a great tool. They have a Pomodoro timer on there. So if you want to try that method out, you can do that. Then there's also Freedom that works on Apple and Android. That's the one I'm using now, and I'll put links to both of them in the comments. And so those are a little more, that's for your techie side. For the distractions that are coming in that are not techie, make sure you're communicating what your boundaries are and when people can interrupt you. And that is a great lead into what we're talking about next week. Create a time template and post it so people know, or get a do not disturb sign for your door. If you have a door. I have a friend with an office who's just getting a door, so she's very excited. Yay. But it's really communicating your boundaries and what distracts you is going to help to lessen the distraction. So again, I'm Jamie Steele. I love helping you plan and find more time in your day to focus on whatever it is you want to focus on. And I will see you next week on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central. We do have co-working this week on Thursday. It starts for Positively Productive at 11 o'clock and goes until noon Central. If you're a client of mine, then you can actually pop in an hour earlier and get even more done. That's more like office hours. I think I'm going to change how I do the co-working, where there's a quiet room and then there's a room where we can talk and work. So I'll let you know on that. Maybe we'll try it out this week if enough people are there and have the interest in chatting and working. Um, I think that's it. I am enrolling in clients into the Priorities Alignment Intensive, a 1 month coaching program, one-on-one coaching that allows you to delve into your values and needs. We talk about self care and what really works for you. I have a workbook that helps you to list out different types of self care. So, really thinking about things you haven't thought about in a long time. And then we talk about prioritization and how to prioritize. And there's a fourth session for the coaching, and that kind of covers anything like if we needed to spend more time on values and needs or the other two aspects of the program. So if you're interested in that, working one-on-one with me, please send me a message or an email or a text. I look at it all. So I just don't get notified about it, but I catch it all in time. So I hope y'all have a wonderful day. For those of you in the Central Texas area, stay safe on the roads, and I will see you next week.